Hey, what's going on, good people? Armando is here once again with another episode of the Daily Unsung Leader, where we talk about leadership, life, and all those things in between. And today, I'm going to talk about a conversation that I had with a transitioning shipmate. One of my shipmates was, he's planning on getting out of the Navy. So one of the cool things about being a CMC is that I get a chance to check out everybody and figure out what they saw good in the command, what they saw bad in the command, what are things that I could do better in terms of how I relate to, the sailors under my care. So I'm having a conversation with my shipmates, and he asked me a question. He's like, how have you managed to take things home? How do you manage taking work home? And he asked from a premise as though he just assumed that we all, take work home with us. And I told him, I was like, I just don't. I just do not take work home with me. And he kind of looked amazed, and because he asked that question because he was really considering how he was going to transition out of this organization effectively, where it was always go, 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 the mission, the mission, the mission, the mission. And now he's going to go to a situation where none of those things are a part of his livelihood, not a part of his framework anymore. And how does he manage in those moments? And it kind of threw me back a little bit with the question, just because it's not something that I typically think about. When I turn my computer off at work, that's it for me. Outside of the phone calls that I get about things that happen outside the working hours and things you have to respond to, but just in terms of getting things done, I typically just don't. I've never taken that stuff with me as a burden. And one of the things I've always said in terms of just existing is that we live primarily in two realms of existence. We live in our past or our future, where in our past we are underwhelmed by the results that we may have done. We are embarrassed by maybe the mistakes that we've made, and we have yet to forgive ourselves for those things. So we're constantly harping on ourselves about the things that happened in the past. And then simultaneously, we live in the future where we're so overwhelmed about what's to come because of the uncertainty, ambiguity, and ambiguity, that comes with things in the future. So we're so worried about what's coming in the future and so underwhelmed by what's happened in the past that we've completely missed what's in front of us. And if there's anything that I have tried to cultivate over the course of my career, is to make sure that by the time I'm done with my career, that the people that came with me are still with me. There's this saying that, hey, your wife, your kids, all this stuff doesn't come in your seat bags, which is complete malarkey. There's another word that I would like to use, but I'm going to try to keep it on point here. But we miss opportunities to just be in the present. And that is not something that comes naturally. That's not an innate thing. It's something that you have to practice, and that's what I told him. I practice being present. One of the things I realized is that being overwhelmed by the future and what's to come, and being underwhelmed and worried about the things that I haven't done, doesn't allow me to exist in a space where I can truly release compassion for people right now, where I can truly release empathy for people right now, where I can truly release love and care and honor for people right now. If I'm existing in a space that has not happened yet or has already happened, how am I honoring right now? When I leave work and I detach from work and I go home and chill with my wife and my kids, they know if I'm not all the way there. They know if there's secondary on that list in terms of priorities in my mind. Because while I am there physically, mentally, and emotionally, I'm detached because I'm worried about this thing that's coming up. But how much progress is going to be added to that thing by my worry? How better is that circumstance going to get better by me constantly worrying about it? It's not. It's not. It's not going to get better by worrying. You have to take the time to make sure that you set up a framework where all of your people can be successful, where your entire team can be successful and fully give all they can give. Because if that is the case, why worry? Right? That's where the energy needs to be generated from, right? Not worrying about the things that's going to happen, and that they have yet to happen, or the things that have already happened, right? Because that deteriorates your energy and doesn't give you the focus and the clarity to give your people what they need right now. Because if you're clouded by what's happening over here, you can't see what's in front of you. And guess what? The people need you present. Your people need you present so that you can see what they need to make this organization better, to make the team better. It's such a dangerous place to be so captivated by the things that haven't happened or the things that have already happened, where we miss what's happening. You can't miss what's happening, because then you can't give what your people need. This is so very important. I talked in a previous video about working hard versus working long. And because somebody in our past has said we were supposed to work these hours, we were supposed to do this to be successful, we allowed that past influence to lead us down a path where we're not being effective. We're just being at work. Just being at work. What impact are you making right now? What impact are you presently making right now? Stuff that's going to happen is going to happen. The stuff that we worry about, 90% of the stuff that we worry about never comes to pass in a bad way anyway. So why worry about it? And the stuff that has already happened, stop blaming yourself. Stop beating yourself up. Forgive yourself so that you can extract the lessons from the things that have already happened. So that you can move forward in the present so that you don't redo the same things. You have to practice being present. Your people, as a leader, need you to be present with them. And just remember, like I said earlier, you cannot release empathy, compassion, love, or any of those things if you're trapped in one or two of those dimensions. If you're trapped in the past or trapped in the present, you can't release those things that your people need right now. And they need that from you. They need you to honor them. They need you to be able to give them the benefit of the doubt when they mess up. Right? Because the thing about it is that if you're not present and you're worried about what's going to happen, if they mess up, you will take it personally. And you'll lash out at them. You'll yell at them. You'll go off on them. Rather than considering, guess what? They ain't come to work to mess up. They just made a mistake because they're human. When we're trapped in those two emotional states and we're not being present, we have a tendency to not even look at our people in a humane way. And what I mean in a humane way is that they're not perfect. Nobody is out here making mistakes because they just want to do a bad job for the most part. And people are doing the best they can with the resources and the information that they have. And that's how you interact with people. Not taking it personally and lashing out on you and call them names and going off and all this stuff. And we end up doing those things related to people like that because we're emotionally captured, in this dimension of the past or the future. Step in the present. Practice it. Take time, sit down, and just be grateful for where you are. Grateful that you're on this side, right? 400 trillion, to 1 odds, that you are here right now. That's something to be grateful for. Start there. There's people that can't see. There's people that can't hear. There's people that can't do what you can do right now. Be grateful for the things that you have. And that will bring you very, very much so into the present, where you can honor the people that you have the privilege of leading. Take the time to practice being present. Presently aware leaders are the most successful leaders because they're able to respond, they're able to be flexible, they're able to honor the people that they lead, and they're able to meet the need where it is right now and not clouded by what could possibly come. So be present. Be present. It's one of the, I didn't include that in my leadership hacks, but it's one of the most important attributes of being a leader. Being a presently aware leader. Don't allow the future to captivate you. Don't allow, the past to underwhelm you, where you're living and thinking so much about those things that you miss what's right in front of your face. So this is a longer video than normal, but hey, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you listening. Like, share, discuss, let me know what you think. And I'll be back with another video next week. Peace.